Hello all. How you doing? Here we are. We're going into week 6, our last online week, leading into week 7, which will be our last class. So let me talk about the dynamics going from 6 to 7. In week 6, we're going to be talking about navigating conflict in organizations. So our overall goal, as pointed out in the syllabus, is to recognize and apply the theories of motivation, leadership, and conflict throughout the entire week. So we talked a lot about biases and styles to enhance individual and group outcomes. And I really think it's important for you to know that biases are items that are learned. And when we bring biases into groups, obviously we're going to develop some type of conflict. And that's when things begin to get personal. We don't focus on the goals, we focus on the individuals who are trying to achieve the goals with you. So, this particular week, we're going to try to navigate conflict by recognizing A, the different types of conflict, and B, once we recognize it, how to manage it, not throw wood in the fire to make it worse. And then, instead of complaining about things when conflict arises, what you essentially want to do is come up with solutions. Anyone can complain about something, but coming up with a solution takes a better person to try to bring the groups together. So we solve goals on common principles. And finally, the last objective is to contrast negotiation types to better match tactics to situations in order to improve or increase the quality of our decisions. So this particular week, we're going to be looking at chapters 13, 14, and 15. I don't expect you to read word for word all 3 chapters. But what I do want you to do is take a look at the slides, take a look at what's in the book, and look at building some type of notes on what type of strategies, as I mentioned earlier, we need to do to reduce the amount of conflict. Also recognize that there are 2 types of conflict. There's bad conflict and there's good conflict. And the thing is, just like you know that there is HDL and LDL. LDL is your bad cholesterol, so that's going to be a conflict that is not going to be productive. But the HDL is the stuff that, on a medical term, cleans out your arteries. Okay? And the idea is you want to make that stronger. So if you want to have conflict, you have to have good constructive types of discussions. That means that you're pumped, not adversarial, but pumped in a good way. Look at all the text talks. Jim Farrell, Ann McKnight, the one by David Venter covering Nelson Mandela, and also negotiation and conflict management. Also look at the TED Talk on Mukul Chaudhry. All of these are going to be very important to help you be able to understand a lot of the concepts that we're covering this week. Due this week, discussion board, which is going to talk about conflict at work. Your final paper, 200 points. Work on it. If you want to send me a draft just to give me a quick look at it, I'll be happy to do that. I'm not going to grade it. And if you're on the right track, I'm going to say looks good. If you're really off base, I'll make a comment. But here again, you have the whole term to think about this. And I want you to know that I have every confidence that you will do very well. So, you know what it's going to be like for next week. Now, moving on, that's the week after next. I'm sorry. Our last class, I believe, is going to be, I think it's June 24th. Let me double check that. The last class is, yes, it's going to be actually, I lied. It's going to be the 22nd, but all materials have to be in by the 24th. And they probably will be. So, what I'm asking you to do this particular week, getting prepared for week 7, overview the entire course. Look at organizational design, effectiveness, and pay special attention to change management. In week 7, I'm going to go, you're going to do your presentations, but I'm going to go over and highlight some of the things that we should be paying attention to. Throughout the class, we've been talking a lot about organizational design and change models. Change it up to increase organizational effectiveness. We had a lot of discussions about that. And then the most important thing is when things change, how do we manage change? Do we look for input or are we adversarial? That's really going to be important. So for week 7, be prepared to talk about design structures and characteristics. We'll briefly touch on those points. Organizational effectiveness, change, internal and external factors that affect change. And we all talked about SWOT, so you know about that. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We talked about that in our group discussion. And you want to gain insight into managing the change process. Reduce stress, increase performance. Okay, so am I expecting you to read chapter 16, 17, and 18 in their entirety? No, but glimpse it over, look at the PowerPoints, get the general idea, and I will see you all a week from this coming Saturday. Make sure, really, that you're prepared to get all the work in by the following Monday, because we go into the next term right after that. As far as potluck is concerned, that final week, what I'll do is I'll bring in, let's see, I'll bring in like muffins and some bagels with cream cheese, and you guys can take it from there. I'll probably do like half dozen bagels and do like, I don't know, 4 muffins and some cream cheese, if that works. Okay, have a wonderful couple of weeks and we'll see you soon.